Good evening, Martin, and welcome to our Supernal Magazine Interview Series. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I'm Martin Bläse. I come from northern Germany, nearby the Baltic Sea, about 10 kilometers. I can see the water sometimes from our village. And I'm a master silversmith and third generation gongsmith. And I'm creating several different sound instruments like singing bowls and bell plates and waterphones. And it's the first time I'm here outside Europe, in Australia.
Yeah, and you've only been here a day, so you haven't really had a chance to look around.
Not so much. When we come here, we saw a lot of kangaroos.
Yes, we are in kangaroo ground.
Yeah,
yes.
we are in kangaroo ground now.
No, that's great. Your passion for creating sound, whether it's your bowls or whether it's your plates or your gongs, where did that passion come from?
This passion comes from I was looking for a new possibility to create sacred metal objects. I learned silversmith because I was interested in this kind of working, because when you make sacred instruments, it's the handicraft and the spiritual work belongs together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's a really good point, isn't it?
Yeah.
That they work together, that it comes from the heart, which is something that you do. With the types of metal you use, there's seems to be a little bit of a difference in the sort of metals.
I work with every metal which I can get. Currently I have 3 exhibitions. I told only about 2 until now. One in Hong Kong, one in Australia, and the third one in Scotland.
Right.
There's a big silversmith exhibition, and my object in this exhibition are 9 different singing bowls made of 9 different metals.
9 different metals, wow. So so that's just in the singing bowls, is that the gongs as well? And
I choose the metals. Some metals are only for experiment, and some metals are useful for instruments. For gongs, I prefer to use bronze, nickel, silver, and my favorite is titanium, because titanium has a hexagonal crystal structure like crystal or water, and creates very special sound. Little bit. There are also singing bowls made of crystal and singing bowls of metal, and titanium is a little bit like a bridge between crystal and metal.
so it's because of the structure, it just gives
Because
you that
of the structure, it creates a special sound, and also the coloration of titanium is beautiful, and I'm creating pictures on the gongs.
Yeah, well, I've got some photos of your dolphin gongs earlier, and they just look stunning.
Yeah.
Mind you, you've got a gong on your left.
Yeah.
Now, what's that made from?
This is titanium. This is from my Karma Gong edition, the Heaven Gong number 11.
Which is beautiful, and of course then the one on your right is stunning, and you unveiled that beautifully today.
Yeah, this is the opening. This is my new creation from this year, the Gong Beyond.
Beyond
Gong. If you want to know what is Beyond Gong, listen to the Beyond Gong.
Exactly, and you played a little bit for us today, and we're hopefully going to capture you with a little bit tonight as well. So I think what I'd like to do is you make these gongs. Now, the Beyond Gong is how big?
How big? 140 centimeters. 25 inches.
And our Heaven Karma Gong?
The Heaven is about 21 inch, 105 centimeters.
So these are big pieces of metal to be working with, aren't they?
Yeah, but I make these gongs from alone. without a helper.
Yeah, you said that. I'm actually was quite interested in your technique because you use your own forge. You fire them up to work with them.
Yeah.
You hand beat them all, and you beat them all because that changes the molecular structure from just being heated or just being rolled.
Yeah.
Is that part of the traditional way that your father made them?
My father and grandfather don't come so much from sound creation. They are metal creators, metal designers, and no, my father don't like the word designer because he said he is worked with praxis. But in Germany, maybe design has a little bit other meaning.
Yeah, so it could be craftsman.
But he said designers are too much in the brain, and he works with his hands, and he creates metal with hands. He's more a creator than a designer.
So true craftsman.
That's the right word.
That could be a very close word.
And I say, if somebody asks me, I'm not a Gong producer, I'm also a Gong creator.
Yes. And I would have said that because everything is hand-built.
Yeah, it's hand-built and it's unique. Although it's an addition, every gong looks unique and sounds unique. But it's a little bit like a family. When I said it's an addition. In a family, people look similar and the voice sounds similar, but they are individual.
Which is, I think every creation speaks to you differently, and it doesn't matter whether it's steel or timber or whatever. I think that's what makes these things so quite beautiful because they're not produced in a factory and just, one the same as the next, But then metal has a life of its own, doesn't it? Now, I notice we've got to give a little demonstration here, but you've got a titanium singing bowl that you've made down there.
Yeah.
What about would you mind giving that a bit of a strike so people watching can hear it? I mean, you won't see the beautiful colour that's in it.
Can you see it?
Yeah, it's good.
This is the biggest titanium bowl I ever made, and it's more difficult to make this bowl than to make this gong, because I have to form it more, the metal, and the titanium don't want to do that. That what I want.
Yeah, I totally get that. I totally get that.
Yeah.
How long would it take to do a typical bowl? Obviously, that's the biggest titanium one.
Yeah, typical. What's typical? The smallest ball, the easiest ball is 10 centimeter in brass. I have about 1 hour to hammer.
Okay.
But here I need several weeks because I can hammer 1 hour and then I have too much pain in my fingers from holding. And I have to stop and I hammer day by day a little bit, and so I can't say how long I really need in hours. And it's a problem with the bowls because I have to hold them like this, and titanium beats back. I feel it in my left hand because it's a light metal. If the metal is heavy, I hammer on it and it goes in the form. When it's light, it pushes in my left hand, and so I have to stop early.
I could imagine. Yeah, that would be pretty tough. And what about, say, I mean, the gongs, obviously, again, titanium's going to take a bit more, but how many hours would you put into... I mean, there's no average size gong, but how many hours would, say, our Karma gong have taken you?
I would like to say 35 years. It's a little bit like Japanese calligraphic. It needs a long time to know how to do it.
Yep.
And then I can't say how many hours, but about 1 week, and a gong like this is ready.
Yeah, you did mention in the workshop, I think one of the gongs took you 30,000. hammer beats.
80,000 hammers for 30-inch gongs.
80,000 hammers.
And you can calculate by yourself how much more it must be for bigger gongs.
30-inch, yeah. No, that is amazing. I mean, that's a lot of patience. You did also mention during the workshop that you get into the energy, into the flow of that beat, so it's that rhythm.
This is my powerful meditation every day. And I thought often that there is not so much power in my body what I need to make a gong like this. And when I start hammering, first quarter an hour, half an hour, my right arms hurts me a little bit, and then I come in the flow and the sweat is flowing, and after 1 hour I can hammer and hammer and hammer and hammer. And I have to stop it, because when I don't stop it, I can sleep at night because of the pain in my arm. And I'm glad about this tour, because I have a little bit holidays from my right arm.
Which is a good thing, except you're playing and you're going to be playing gongs tonight.
But it doesn't hurt when I'm playing.
Well, you get lost in a moment. They are beautiful. So not only do you do a range of bowls, you do the range of gongs, you do your plates, you do tingshas as well, because you believe in using absolutely every little piece of the metal that you possibly can. I think that's an important point for people to note. You're not just cutting stuff off and throwing it away. It's used.
I'm a silversmith, and I have learned a lot of value of metal, and it's my my intention for life that we have to be careful with material.
And I think that's a very good thing. I do want to, we're going to show the gong that you've got permission to play at Uluru. You talked about the connection to the earth and feeling drawn to play your gong at Uluru. Can you explain to everyone watching, why did that come about?
I was always interested in the rules and the roots of my profession, and also my father and my grandfather, and it's a little bit they are part of my roots, but the most interesting point is when mankind begin to use metal to make tools. Gold and silver were used in the Stone Age, but we speak from the Bronze Age. From this time, the man can transform stone into metal and to make tools from metal. But the first metal things has been sacred objects, and it's again my profession. And so I was every time interested in history of my work. And one day I found a place in Norway, a sacred place from the Bronze Age, and there was written, "The Bronze Age, the master of transformation." And it was a little bit like I was at home for 1 hour. And from this moment, my whole life and my work changed, because I feel a deeper trust than ever before that I'm on the right way. It's like a blessing from the masters of the Bronze Age, the beginning of metalworking.
Yeah, which is a beautiful thing. And I really felt that connection when you were talking.
And this is little bit has something to do when I want to go to the Uluru, because for me this is one of the most important, if not the most important sacred place on earth. For me, currently, it is the most important.
No, that's fair enough. I mean, Uluru is an amazing place, and it's beautiful country. It's a very sacred women's space as well, and so it's an amazing experience. So I wish you well with that. Now, what I'd like to do is we're going to finish off, and I'd like you to maybe introduce a couple of your gongs and just give them a little play. But look, I know it's a short sort of interview, but thank you very much for allowing time and for allowing me to even be involved in watching the workshop. So I wish you all the best, and thank you very much.
Yeah, I thank you too.